worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome to Millennium News Hour. I am Tanzeeba Naurin. In today's bulletin, we will present top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines of the day. Ex-Trump lawyer Sidney Powell pleads guilty in Georgia election interference case. More than 300 are arrested in a Capitol Hill protest urging a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. GOP's Jordan backs a temporary House Speaker plan and calls off third vote for now, lawmakers say. The government secures a $9 million settlement with Ameris Bank over alleged redlining in Florida. American journalist detained and charged in Russia. "13 cows dead in Connecticut tractor-trailer rollover." Burt Young, Oscar-nominated actor who played Paulie in Rocky films, dies at 83. Biden says Egypt to open Gaza crossing for up to 28 trucks. She says we'll work with Egypt to help stabilize Middle East. Taliban willing to formally join China's Belt and Road Initiative. Mahsa Amini, the Kurdish-Iranian woman who died in police custody, is awarded EU Human Rights Prize. Nokia plans to cut up to 14,000 jobs after sales and profits plunge in a weak market. And Kohli helps India to comfortable win over Bangladesh. You were listening to Headlines, now news in detail. Former Trump attorney Sidney Powell pleaded guilty Thursday morning in the Georgia election interference case just a day before jury selection in her trial alongside co-defendant Kenneth Chesebro was set to begin. Powell pleaded guilty to 6 misdemeanor counts of conspiracy to commit election interference in Fulton County Superior Court as part of a deal reached with prosecutors. Powell agreed to serve 6 years of probation and pay a $6,000 fine and $2,700 in restitution to the state of Georgia. She also agreed to submit an apology letter to the citizens of Georgia and to testify at related court proceedings. Powell was one of 19 defendants named in District Attorney Fani Willis' indictment, which also charged former President Donald Trump. Powell, who acted as one of Trump's lawyers after his 2020 election loss to Joe Biden, was charged with racketeering, conspiracy to commit election fraud, conspiracy to commit computer theft, trespassing and invasion of privacy, and conspiracy to defraud the state. She had originally pleaded not guilty in the case and had agreed to a $100,000 bond. More than 300 people were arrested for illegally demonstrating and 3 people were charged with assaulting police after protesters descended on Capitol Hill to call for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Hundreds of demonstrators from Jewish advocacy groups, including Jewish Voice for Peace and If Not Now, poured into a congressional office building on Wednesday. They wore shirts that read, "Jews say ceasefire now," and they chanted, "Let Gaza live," and "Not in my name," before they were detained by Capitol Police. Demonstrations are not allowed inside Capitol buildings, and police said they warned the crowd gathered in the rotunda of the Cannon House office building to stop before they began making the arrests. The 305 people arrested for illegally demonstrating were subsequently released, and those charged with assault were held in custody pending an appearance before a judge. A few liberal members of Congress have been pushing for a resolution in the latest Hamas-Israeli war, saying that Israeli bombardment of civilians in Gaza is leading to a humanitarian crisis. The protesters were never in the U.S. Capitol, as some falsely stated on social media. Refusing to drop out, Republican Representative Jim Jordan told GOP colleagues Thursday he would back a temporary U.S. House Speaker for the next several months as he works to shore up support to win the gavel himself. Jordan delivered the message at a closed-door meeting at the Capitol as the Republican majority considered an extraordinary plan to give the interim Speaker pro tempore Representative Patrick McHenry more powers to reopen the House and conduct crucial business until January, according to Republicans who attended the private meeting and insisted on anonymity to discuss it. After Jordan lost 2 ballots to become Speaker, a third vote was called off. The House convened briefly at midday Thursday, but it's doubtful now that Jordan will quickly try again. The hard-fighting ally of Donald Trump won't step aside either, as his far-right allies stand with him, and some other Republicans are deeply shaken after receiving death threats from Jordan supporters. At the same time, there is a sinking realization that the House could remain endlessly stuck, out of service, and without a leader for the foreseeable future as the Republican majority spirals deeper into dysfunction. The impasse has left some Republican lawmakers settling in for a protracted stretch. The Justice Department has secured a $9 million settlement with Ameris Bank over allegations that it avoided underwriting mortgages in predominantly Black and Latino communities in Jacksonville, Florida, and discouraged people there from getting home loans. The bank denied violating fair lending laws and said it wanted to avoid litigation by agreeing to the deal, which does not include civil monetary penalties. It's the latest settlement over a practice known as redlining, which the Biden administration is tackling through a new task force that earlier this year reached the largest agreement of its kind in the department's history. Between 2016 and 2021, the Atlanta-based Ameris Bank's home lending was focused disproportionately on mostly white areas of Jacksonville, while other banks approved loans at 3 times the rate Ameris did, the government said. The bank has never operated a branch in a majority Black and Hispanic neighborhood, and in 1/3 of those areas it did not receive a single application over the 6-year period, even though other banks did, Attorney General Merrick Garland said. A U.S. journalist has been detained in Russia, her employer said, the second such case since the war in Ukraine started. Also, Kurmasheva, a dual Russian-American reporter with Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, was detained in the southwest Russian city of Kazan on Wednesday while awaiting the return of her passports, her employer said Thursday in a statement. RFE-RL said Kurmasheva, who is based in Prague, has been charged with failure to register as a foreign agent a designation Russia requires of any organizations or individuals that it perceives as receiving foreign funding. It has been used to target journalists and people who speak out against the Kremlin. The charge carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, said RFE-RL, which is a U.S. government-funded media company. Wall Street Journal reporter Ivan Gershkovich was arrested on espionage charges in March and faces up to 20 years in prison if found guilty. Kurmasheva has been working with the company's Tatar Bashkir service, RFE-RL said. She traveled to Russia for a family emergency in May, according to RFE-RL, and was temporarily detained while waiting for her return flight on June 2 at Kazan airport, where she had her US and Russian passports confiscated and has not been able to leave Russia since. 7 cows were killed and another 6 euthanized after a tractor-trailer carrying them rolled over while exiting a highway in Connecticut early Thursday morning, officials said. The tractor-trailer was carrying 44 cows when it rolled over on and off-ramp of Interstate 84 in Newtown, Connecticut State Police said in a statement. The driver was not injured. Officials from the state's Department of Agriculture and Department of Transportation arrived on the scene and determined that 6 of the cows should be euthanized for their injuries following a consultation with a state veterinarian. The 31 remaining animals were loaded onto a new trailer and will also be evaluated by state veterinarians. The decision to euthanize was made in coordination with the owner based upon the circumstances present and to prevent further suffering of the animals, the Department of Agriculture said in a statement. The meat from these animals is not fit for human consumption, he added. Burt Young, the Oscar-nominated actor who played Paulie, the rough-hewn, mumbling and grumbling best friend, cornerman and brother-in-law to Sylvester Stallone in the Rocky franchise, has died. Young died October 8 in Los Angeles. His daughter, Anne Maria Steingeiser, told the New York Times on Wednesday. No cause was given. He was 83. Young had roles in acclaimed films and television shows including Chinatown, Once Upon a Time in America, and The Sopranos. But he was always best known for playing Paulie Panino in 6 Rocky movies. The short, punchy, balding Young was the sort of actor who always seemed to play middle-aged no matter his age. When Paulie first appears in 1976 Rocky, he is an angry, foul-mouthed meatpacker who is abusive to his sister Adrienne, with whom he shares a small apartment in Philadelphia. He berates the shy, meek Adrienne for refusing at first to go on a Thanksgiving night date with his buddy and co-worker Rocky Balboa and destroys a turkey she has in the oven. The film became a phenomenon, topping the box office for the year and making a stir of lead actor and writer Stallone, who paid tribute to Young on Instagram on Wednesday night. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has agreed to open the Rafah crossing into Gaza to allow a first batch of around 20 humanitarian aid trucks through, U.S. President Joe Biden said Wednesday. He agreed to let up to 20 trucks through to begin with, Biden told reporters after calling Sisi from Air Force One while returning from a visit to Israel, where he was showing solidarity over the October 7 Hamas attacks. The shipment would likely not cross until Friday, as the road at the crossing needed repairs, Biden said. They are going to patch the road. They have to fill in potholes to get these trucks through, and that's going to occur. They expect it will take about 8 hours tomorrow, he said. The first 20 trucks will be a test of a system for distributing aid without allowing the Palestinian organization Hamas, which controls Gaza, to benefit, the U.S. president said. The United Nations is set to distribute aid on the Gaza side of the border. Chinese President Xi Jinping told Egypt's Prime Minister on Thursday that Beijing hoped to work with his country to bring more stability to the Middle East, state media reported, as the Israel-Hamas conflict cast a shadow over the region. China is willing to enhance cooperation with Egypt and inject more certainty and stability into the region and the world, she told Mustafa Madbouli at a meeting in Beijing, according to state broadcaster CCTV. China and Egypt are good friends who share the same goals and trust each other, and good partners who work hand in hand for development and common prosperity, CCTV reported. She said, at present, the international and regional situation is undergoing profound and complex changes, and the world is experiencing rapid changes not seen for a century, she added. Beijing was also willing to work with Cairo to jointly safeguard international fairness and justice, as well as the common interest of developing countries, he said. The Taliban administration wants to formally join Chinese President Xi Jinping's huge Belt and Road Infrastructure initiative and will send a technical team to China for talks, Afghanistan's acting commerce minister said on Thursday. Beijing has sought to develop its ties with the Taliban-run government since it took over in 2021, even though no other foreign government has recognized the administration. Last month, China became the first country to appoint an ambassador to Kabul, with other nations retaining previous ambassadors or appointed heads of mission in a charge d'affaires capacity that does not involve formally presenting credentials to the government. We requested China to allow us to be a part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and Belt and Road Initiative and are discussing technical issues today, Acting Commerce Minister Haji Nuruddin Azizi told Reuters in an interview a day after the Belt and Road Forum ended in Beijing. Mahsa Amini, the 22-year-old Kurdish Iranian woman who died in police custody in Iran last year, sparking worldwide protest against the country's conservative Islamic theocracy, was awarded the European Union's top human rights prize on Thursday. The EU award, named for Soviet dissident Andrei Sakharov, was created in 1988 to honor individuals or groups who defend human rights and fundamental freedoms. Sakharov, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, died in 1989. Other finalists this year included Vilma Nunes de Escocia and Roman Catholic Bishop Rolando Alvarez, two emblematic figures in the fight for the defense of human rights in Nicaragua, and a trio of women from Poland, El Salvador, and the United States leading a fight for free, safe, and legal abortion. Amini died on September 16, 2022, after she was arrested for allegedly violating Iran's mandatory headscarf law. European Parliament President Roberta Metsola said that day will live in infamy, adding that her brutal murder marked a turning point. It has triggered a women-led movement that is making history, she said, as she announced the awarding of the prize to Amini and the Oman Life Freedom Movement in Iran. The world has heard the chants of women, life, liberty. Three words that have become a rallying cry for all those standing up for equality, for dignity, and for freedom in Iran, Metsola said. Women have played a leading role in the protest, with many publicly removing the compulsory Islamic headscarf known as the hijab. Telecom gear maker Nokia said Thursday that it is planning to cut up to 14,000 jobs worldwide, or 16% of its workforce, as part of a push to reduce costs following a plunge in third-quarter sales and profit. The Finnish company, one of the world's main suppliers of high-speed 5G wireless networks, said it's trying to navigate the current market uncertainty as higher interest rates take a toll. The company said it is aiming to slash 800 million euros to 1.2 billion euros in costs by the end of 2026. That is expected to lead to a reduction from 86,000 employees to between 72,000 and 77,000 over that time period. Nokia's third-quarter sales plummeted 20% to 4.98 billion euros from 6.24 billion in the same three-month period last year. Comparable net profit plunged to 299 million euros in the July to September quarter from 551 million a year earlier. The company's biggest unit by revenue, the mobile networks business, declined 24% to 2.16 billion euros, driven mainly by weakness in the North American market. Operating profit for the division fell 64%. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 15,196.37. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 128.59 points or 0.84%. Tokyo stock close price is 31,430.62. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 611.63 points or 1.91%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,005.39. The Shanghai index is decreased by 53.32 points or 1.74%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,295.89. The Hang Seng index is decreased by 436.63 points or 2.46%. Bombay stock close price is 65,629.24. The Sensex index is decreased by 247.78 points or 0.38%. Let's have a look on today's sports story. India batter Virat Kohli smashed his 48th ODI ton to guide India to a comfortable 7-wicket win over Bangladesh in their World Cup encounter in Pune on Thursday. Kohli put away 6 fours and 4 sixes for his unbeaten 97-ball 103 and was aptly aided by openers Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma, who scored 53 and 48 respectively as India registered their 4th straight win of the tournament by chasing down Bangladesh's 256-run target in 41.3 overs. Bangladesh off-spinner Mehdi Hasan Miraz scalped 2 wickets for 47 runs, while Hassan Mahmood picked up 1. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Ex-Trump lawyer Sidney Powell pleads guilty in Georgia election interference case. More than 300 are arrested in a Capitol Hill protest urging a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. GOP's Jordan backs a temporary House Speaker plan and calls off third vote for now, lawmakers say. The government secures a $9 million settlement with Ameris Bank over alleged redlining in Florida. American journalist detained and charged in Russia. "13 cows dead in Connecticut tractor-trailer rollover." Burt Young, Oscar-nominated actor who played Paulie in Rocky films, dies at 83. Biden says Egypt to open Gaza crossing for up to 28 trucks. She says we'll work with Egypt to help stabilize Middle East. Taliban willing to formally join China's Belt and Road Initiative. Mahsa Amini, the Kurdish Iranian woman who died in police custody, is awarded EU Human Rights Prize. Nokia plans to cut up to 14,000 jobs after sales and profits plunge in a weak market. And Kohli turn helps India to comfortable win over Bangladesh. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.